Welcome to Designed for Connection, where we talk about the truth of science, psychology, and faith to help you flourish in the relationships that matter most to you. One of the things I hear a lot when I work with couples is life is not fair. Or oftentimes they'll say, it's not fair. Someone talking about their spouse who might be ill or even somehow mentally incapacitated or physically incapacitated. And the caretaker, the one who is healthier physically, might say to me, it's not fair. My life feels like it's just being sucked dry and I'm having to put all this time and energy. And they might be choosing that, but they're also choosing to focus on it's not fair. I might often also hear this from a person whose spouse has had an affair. And it's not fair that if they are choosing to, try to work on the marriage together, if they're trying to reconcile, then the one who felt betrayed is left with a big ball of betrayal and lack of trust, and they're having to work through and forgiveness and all the things, and it does not feel fair. Someone who struggles with PTSD, and maybe it's just an individual, maybe it's not a couple. I've often heard this as well. I didn't choose those things that happened to me, whether it's sexual abuse, physical abuse, some kind of neglect that they experienced as a child, and they didn't ask for it, of course. But then they are left with the aftermath of having to deal with all of the hurts and betrayals and wacky belief systems that they might have as a result of some kind of trauma. They didn't choose that, but they're having to deal with the aftermath, and it's not fair. Um, Life is not fair. That's the truth. It is not fair. There is always someone who has it easier, has it better. It's the truth for all of us, every single person that walks this earth. There's always something or somewhere, somebody who has it better. It's just part of being in an imperfect world. So if we dwell on the way that life feels unfair, and we feel burdened by this, it generally leads, if we stay there, it generally leads to bitterness and resentment. And then ultimately we imprison ourselves to this focusing on it's not fair and I feel so burdened. And then it comes out sideways in passive aggressive ways and hurtful ways. We begin to not experience the freedom that is there for us. So it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy to really foster this story, this belief that life is not fair. I mean, it is true. Life is not fair. But we always have a choice. Here's where this is important. We always have a choice. So we can choose to dwell on the ways that life feels unfair, or we can shift our focus. And we have a choice to do that. We can shift our focus and begin to look for opportunities and even appreciation and gratitude for the ways that life is showing up for me, that I get to grow, I get to learn, I get to build more depth to my character. Um, and that suffering always produces, or at least has the opportunity to produce, character in us, a deeper place within us where we can connect to others, where we have this understanding and empathy because we've been there, right? We have this opportunity to grow. So choosing to shift our focus on gratitude and growth, enables our freedom. This is where inner freedom comes from. So life is not fair. That is a fact. I am not disputing that. You always have a choice, though. And so to nurse the fact that life is unfair, however it shows up for you and your life circumstances, um, imprisons yourself. To shift the focus to ways that you can grow, opportunities to grow in depth of love and character. This is where we find freedom and ultimately flourishing in life. So the choice is yours. What will you choose?